Bro, the problem child just got left behind. Okay, you guys are fucking idiots. We're gonna go find better species. My slow daughter can fucking stay with you in the rare case you fucking accomplish it. Good job. The rest are out. They said you guys are fucking morons. I can't even blame them. Dr. Stone has officially ended, and all I've heard throughout the years is that, like with many of these shows, it has a bad ending, and to those people I say, no, you're wrong. This ending was great. A little open-ended, a lot of read between the lines, different interpretations will happen. But rather than just having a big intergalactic final battle, but rather a battle of wits and intelligence, and it turns out we aren't smart enough for the Medusas, and they fucking dip, is the funniest and honestly most logical thing, because they really have come to the conclusion that we've sacrificed enough of ourselves to monkeys. We got to go find more intelligent life. We overestimated you guys. That's on us. But a singular Medusa staying behind, saying, actually, maybe you guys are worth betting on. They can give that. Time travel. I mean, some people have their issues with it, but at the end of the day, a lot of scientists agree. In theory, it's possible, but the actual execution of it, potentially improbable. And my interpretation of the time travel isn't that they want to complete... It took me a bit. I had to think about it for about 10 minutes after I finished the episode. Because my initial thought was, if you do time travel and you prevent any of this from ever happening, in doing so, the Medusas that were sacrificed get to live, and they'll never come to Earth because they know Earth isn't capable of what they want. But also, all the people who didn't survive the 3,700 years or whatever it was would, live. But in doing so, the village and all the people who were only born because of petrification wouldn't exist. But I don't get the impression that's what they want to do. I get the impression that they more want to send information to the past, and in doing so, warn Earth about the oncoming petrification. Because a lot of human statues did not make it. So because of that, getting them to a safer location, potentially getting preparing humanity before it happens, makes it so everyone can be revived in present day. To me, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. But obviously, it's open to interpretation. Also, a little quick post-record, I forgot to add this. It's also entirely possible, given what they did with the giant-ass Medusa at the end, they might want to just send the beam itself back to the past, because obviously there are some people who potentially, just didn't get petrified and, just straight up died. So there's a whole bunch of things that they could do, both with information to send back to the past in order to preserve certain statues, but also being able to send the petrification beam back to certain points in the past would allow people to be obviously saved and then revived in present day. So there's a lot of interpretation, but yeah, I just want to throw that out there. But I think in general, this was the perfect ending for a show like Dr. Stone. I've seen some people say, nah, it wasn't, because I wanted a big epic battle. Listen, there has been some epic battles, I'm not going to deny, but Dr. Stone is a battle of wits. And the fact that Senku and his people turned out to be nothing but ants in comparison to the intelligence of the Medusas, to the point that they didn't even deem us a threat. It was, no, they needed help, because in order for them to live forever, they need people to make them. You guys just aren't smart enough. The fact that petrification should have just immediately been undone. Keep in mind, Senku took thousands of years to wake up with his intelligence. They were out here petrifying people, assuming they could just wake up, because that's how smart, clearly, their creators must have been. And they even touch upon that. Well, how did you make the Medusas? I don't know. Do you guys know how you were made? Like, yeah, we got our theories, but they tied up every loose end, if you ask me. And the fact that they end with a name drop, I'm a fucking whore for that. Seeing this museum, after talking about the potential of time travel, seeing all the things we made, this shows that in theory, they probably managed, right? They probably managed to do it. But the most important thing is that everything that happened with the village wasn't undone, because otherwise, why would all that be in a museum? So whether or not they've succeeded fully with time travel remains to be seen, but did they succeed in having a happy world? Yeah, maybe it was a fool's hope. You could argue, not knowing for sure if Senku was able to save every single person from the initial humanity petrification isn't possible, and it was a child's dream. But fuck it, let someone have hope for the future, right? At the end of the day, though, the present-day humanity did succeed in being rebuilt, and the artifacts of his time have clearly been preserved in a museum, and Senku is now known as Dr. Stone. That's beautiful. I do actually remember someone made a joke when season 1 was airing. I used to see some people make it like, oh, you know, Senku's the Dr. Stone, and people would get mad. Don't fucking call him that. It's just the name of the show. Like, that's the name of the show. He's not Dr. Stone. Fuck yeah, he is. I'm surprised nothing got spoiled for me. I really, really am. I'm happy. They did tease. During the credits, they say the end and to be continued. Now, I've talked about this before. There is more chapters that they can adapt. So the main story, the main manga has ended, right? But what ended up happening is there was like some extra chapters that the author ended up making. From my knowledge, it doesn't completely, you know, answer, because what I was explained, it was a little bit more from where the manga ended, but it's not like it's a crazy wrap everything up. So it would be more of like an OVA, I imagine, or maybe this is just an immediate to be continued because they show you the last few minutes of the episode. I don't know. Either way, I assume based on the fact that we got a full Dr. Stone adaptation, they'll probably make a couple OVAs to just continue on with it. And obviously open-ended shows are, you know, not everyone's cup of tea, but I don't think this is open-ended in the way of like, damn, we got blue balls. It's open-ended in, yeah, we don't know exactly how time travel would work in this world. There's a lot of interpretations. Some might interpret that we go back in time, but we bring all of the village people with us. Well, that can't happen because time travel works the way time travel will work in any show. Just because we have an idea of like, certain things have to happen in order for it to always happen, I mean, the show can make a different argument. I think personally they went the route of sending information into the past rather than a person to preserve humanity, to make sure everyone was in the right location when petrification happened, so when Senku could undo it, all the statues were safe. That's my opinion of it. Yeah, but what about all the Medusas who died? I mean, there's probably arguments to be made that they also sent them the information so the Medusas would leave and not wait around, and only that singular Medusa potentially stayed around. I don't know. Like, that's my theory. I deadass think this had some of the best CGI I've seen in some time. Like, the way they made a giant skull out of Medusas and just the visual horror of it was awesome. Like, some people deadass wanted a battle. And I thought we were getting a battle because initially I was like, maybe there is a fucking person up there. But the fact that it was just intelligent life that was so intelligent that it overestimated us and really just thought maybe it was on them. Maybe there was a barrier, a language barrier. I've seen criticisms like, well, why would they try to talk like that? Imagine fucking God trying to interact with an ant. Like, that's essentially what we boil down to. Imagine a neurotypical getting mad at a neurodivergent for not understanding their path of thought, like their train of thought, but then times that by 1 billion. Some people just only can see things from their point of view and mindset, and then can't comprehend that maybe there's a miscommunication. But imagine that miscommunication. You're telling me if a supercomputer could interact with us with human level communication, there wouldn't be it would just be like, why aren't you understanding me, you dumb son of a bitch? I mean, if there really is other intelligent life in our universe and we interact with it, if intelligent life ever made contact with Earth, this is what would happen. Because the intelligent life that can find other intelligent life is far more complex and superior than we are. Let's be 100% real. I think it's a very satisfying ending. Like, I do say this all the time. There hasn't been a bad anime ending in years. Every time I hear it's bad, it's usually just misunderstood. It's misrepresented, and it usually boils down, and I don't say this as an insult, manga readers who read something weekly or monthly for 5 to 10 years straight have more of a, it has to go this way, or potentially they get in their head that they assume it's going a certain way, more so than an anime watcher, because an anime watcher has 1 to 2 to 3 year breaks at a time between seasons. So we just are like, oh yeah, this is where the show's going. And that's why happened with Attack on Titan. It's gonna happen with Oshinoko. Just gonna happen with fucking Dr. Stone. You know, it just happens, right? Because people don't really, and also with anime, it's easier to see where a show's going. I saw last week a lot of the concept of the waves in terms of how they were communicating was easier to understand in the anime than it was in the manga. Another example, anime is easier to digest than a still frame manga panel that you might misrepresent what's going on or misunderstand. And it's not because of the manga readers being stupid. It's just, it's a different medium, and in doing so, a different experience, which can cause for a bit more confusion. I think this was 10 out of 10. Top 10 anime for me. I leave very happy. If we never get to see those bonus chapters, is what it is. I'm going to hold out on reading them for at least a year, But yeah, if I don't see any confirmation for those getting adapted in anime, I will peek them just because I love this series. But this is a fantastic show. You let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. You can catch full live reactions to every single episode over on Patreon. And hey, if you're already over on my Patreon, I'll give you a video shout out too, because my patrons wouldn't make videos just like these possible. All right, so today we got Corbo, Casper Joel, George Para, Car Goofy, Kevin Wallace, Antonio, One-Eyed King, Hawkeye, Carson Steen, and we also have Tough Taz. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and y'all have a good one. You know what? Happy Pride Month. Wood.